Welcome to our tutorial on setting up an AI podcast from Feedly articles to SoundCloud. In this video, we will guide you through the entire process step by step. Make sure you have registered on all the necessary platforms before we start. You can find the necessary links in the document. So first of all, you need to join all of these platforms in order to work with this automation. You should have a Make account to create the automation workflow. And also we should have a Feedly account. This is where we add new articles to our board so that we can use these articles in our automation. And we should have an Airtable database, and we need to have an OpenAI account, and we need an 11 Labs account to create audio podcast, and also create an account on SoundCloud in order to upload your podcast. Set up Feedly. Once you are registered with Feedly, you can create a new board to save the articles you need to use in this automation. For that, you need to create a Feedly board, and you can save the articles you need into that board. For example, Feedly boards are like folders or collections where you can save the article for referencing later. So once you found your favorite article, you can click on the star mark to add it to your favorite board. This article will be triggered in our scenario. The second thing we need to and set up the Airtable base. To do that, you need to create an account in Airtable, and then you need to create the base for it. So click on create, and then you will see this pop up. From here you need to select start from scratch. Now we need to customize this table. Let's rename the base as AI podcast creator. Let's rename the table. Next, we need to set up the fields we need for our automation. Let's delete these default records. Here we need almost 9 different columns for this automation. Let's create one by one. First of all, we need to create an episode column. So just edit this field, then rename it as episode. From here, select single line text and click save. In the next column we have is title. So let's edit this field and rename it as title. Also select single line text for this column. And the next column we should have is Twitter post image. This is an attachment column, so we will attach the images from DALL-E to here. So we can use this to create new post in Twitter. Select the type as attachment and click save. And then here we have the column podcast script. This is a long text column. Let's save it and add new column as description. Select long text as the type. The next column we should have is SoundCloud URL. The next column we should have is tweet. Long text column. And then we have to create a column for LinkedIn post image. And then we have to create a column for LinkedIn post image. It's an attachment type, create field. And then you need to create another column for LinkedIn post. This is a long text column. So these are the fields we need to have in our Airtable in order to work with this automation. Next, we need to create an OpenAI API key to work with this automation. If you have already an OpenAI connection in your make.com, you can skip this part. In order to create an OpenAI API key, you need to visit openai.com. From the menu, you need to go to products and click on API login. From here, you need to select API option. And from here, select API keys. You should have a paid plan in order to get an API key and work with our automation. You can click create new secret key and use it to connect it in make.com. The next thing we need to set up is 11 labs. If you want to work with your own voice, you can clone your own voice in 11 lab. So you can create new audio podcast in your own voice. Next, we need to set up the make.com scenario. So here I have already created the blueprint to work with this scenario. So you can just click this link and download the blueprint. So you can import this workflow directly into your Make account. To download it, just click on this link and your blueprint will be downloaded. Next, you need to go to make.com and click create a new scenario. So this is the workflow builder in make.com. In order to import the blueprint we have, you need to go to this more button and click import blueprint. Choose the file and select the downloaded file. Click save. So this is the blueprint you have imported, and you can directly create your workflow from here. So first of all, you need to connect your Feedly account to create a webhook. Simply click create a webhook. From here you need to add your Feedly connection. Once you save that, you will be able to retrieve all the boards you have created in the Feedly. So whenever you save an article to this board, the scenario will be triggered. So first we have a ChatGPT connection to write the script for the audio podcast. So you need to add your OpenAI connection in order to work with this automation. So click on add, paste your API key you got from OpenAI, and then click save, and you will be able to make your connection. Here I have already set up the connection. So you can see that we are giving a prompt to the ChatGPT to create the script, and we are passing the article content as a user message. Here we are passing the article information, and ChatGPT will write a script for our audio podcast. And here we are generating a title for our audio podcast. If you need to have an episode number incremented one by one every time you create a new podcast, you can add an increment function here and then use that value for the podcast episode. So the next thing we need to set up is 11 Labs account. First you need to add your 11 Labs connection. Click add and add your connection. You just need to paste your API key from 11 Labs in order to add your connection. And from here you need to select your voice that will be used to create the podcast. Next, we are creating a description for our audio podcast. Here you need to make your SoundCloud connection so that you can be able to upload this audio we just generated from 11 Labs into SoundCloud as a new audio podcast. Here we are creating a Twitter image for our Twitter post. And here we are creating the tweet for our post. Here we create the LinkedIn image for our LinkedIn post and the LinkedIn post. And finally, we can save the audio podcast information in our Airtable base. In order to add all the information in your Airtable, you need to add your Airtable connection. Click on add and then select the type as Airtable OAuth and click save. Once you have completed adding your connection, you can select the base module you need to work with your Airtable. And then you need to select the table from your Airtable base. As you can see, all the records has been already created. So you just need to map all these values from the output from previous modules. As you can see, we have already created all necessary values for the columns. So you just need to map these values from your workflow. Once you have done that, you can click OK, and then our scenario is ready to be run. After testing this scenario, if everything works perfectly, you can click turn on this schedule and your scenario is ready to create new podcast as soon as you save a new article on the Feedly board. Test the scenario by clicking run once and add an article to your Feedly board to execute the new scenario. If everything works perfectly and you see the SoundCloud audio podcast created, and also there will be a new record added to your Airtable, activate the scenario by turning on this schedule from here. This will trigger the automation whenever a new article is added to the Feedly board. And that's it. You have now set up an automation process to create an AI podcast from Feedly articles to SoundCloud. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.